Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. And thank you for joining us today. Today, we are in the fog. Today is day two of being in the fog. And believe it or not, there is a boat there. Hard to see, but it's there. So, today we are not in the basement. I know I keep making reference to the fact that we're going to the basement, but that's not happening on this episode. That will happen in a future episode, I promise. Some delays, but we will explain away when we get to that episode. So today we have the pleasure of playing with a new toy. I mean, a tool. Sorry. Um, Depends on how you look at it. We are stripping doors today, and yeah, let's just jump right in. And dive right in, we will. So, this is us basically unboxing and yeah, sharing our new tool with the world. How wonderful is this? This is called
The Woodwork Stripper, the Cobra Speed Heater.
and this is the full kit along with blades. So, this is basically using infrared technology to strip paint. So you can see this is our sample door. This is one of the closet doors that we decided to strip. You can see a little mortise and tenon detail there. This gives you a really good idea now of what the doors all would have originally been in the house. So if you've seen some of the previous episodes, you've seen this is the door to the third floor. This is a pine door. We now realize all the doors in the house are pine, and it has been a technique using a graining tool, and it absolutely looks like real grain. It's very well done, and this shellac and this treatment would have been done on all the doors in the house. And so that gives you a really good idea when we actually get into stripping this door now, some of the things that we learned along the way. So this tool really does allow you to very safely, very environmentally remove paint, potentially lead paint, very easily by using this tool. If used properly, you get a slight bit of smoke, which is not toxic, and it allows you to remove large amounts of paint very quickly, very easily. So as we started to get more comfortable with the tool, we started using it in this manner, where we started to heat for 1 to 3 seconds the surface and then slowly start to move along so we can maximize the amount of paint that we're able to remove. So you can see that this is not a one pass, absolutely not. And I'm certainly not using any recommended tool. As you get into some of the finer detail work, you'll find that the tools are far and above anything else. They really are. So you can sometimes light the paint on fire, believe it or not. So you do have to be careful. It is a little bit of getting used to, but once you start to get into a rhythm, you start to get really good. This was the front side of the door that we had first tackled. And so the layers that are on here. So first we have, as you saw on the door to the attic, that dark shellac that was on. And if I remember correctly, Elsie, Art Anderson's wife, had mentioned the fact that it was creepy because everything was so dark in the house. So you can imagine all of the doors in the house and all the trim being just like they are in the dining room, living room, as well as that back door. So yeah, it would have been very, very dark in the house. It would have created a very dark feeling indeed. Not sure if we're going to be going back to that dark. We shall see. Remains to be seen. Lots of decisions need to be made with respect to design choices that we're starting to get a better sense of now that we've been here in the house. So, but as we start to strip, you can see that the infrared really does make the process simple. And when you're lucky and you kind of catch with the tools the right way, you can take off not only the paint, but the shellac on top of that, which it turns to glue immediately when that heat hits that. And once it cools, it is hard. So you see me using basically not even a paint scraper, just like a putty knife, and basically, or drywall knife, and basically using that to scrape off the majority of the material. And then it was a process of scraping that tool off to get the paint off of that, because by the time it cools, which it cools very quickly, you're having to scrape that material off. And so we collected a bag of scraped off paint, shockingly heavy. And there you go, a much better looking door. So some of the things that you'll notice, and some of the things we notice when you see in the close-ups here, is those little sort of reddish spots where the knots were. So this would have been a material, and I'm not sure what it is. If you certainly know, please comment below. But that material was painted over the knots so that wouldn't bleed through when the doors were painted. And so you can see that still remains even after using the Cobra. We're still left with the remnants of some of that, which will probably come off with a very light sand. But amazing, really. I mean, this is a few hours of work for sure, getting it to this point, and there's still certainly lots more detail work left yet to do with respect to some of the trims that are inset in the door. And so those trims are profile tools that came with the kit. Unfortunately, won't work on the trim around the doors here. It will certainly work, I know, on other moldings and trims throughout the house, but we'll likely have to order another tool with a different profile to better sort of attack the trim on these doors. However, it's looking absolutely fantastic, and this was not a vast investment of time considering the other options that were available out there. And really, we had the option to go with the sandblasting route, which means you're having to use some type of product that you're blasting onto the material and then cleaning up the mess, or hopefully using a vacuum sandblaster. Another option would have been to lasering technology is certainly newer, but is coming down in price, but still very, very expensive, and would not have necessarily produced the same result that we've been able to achieve here, with, I think, a lower cost and I think a great result. I'm quite happy with the result, and I know they need more work, but it looks really good. So lots more doors to do in the house yet, so lots more to tackle, that's for sure. But really happy with how everything's turned out. All right, that's it for another episode. I'm so glad you guys followed along to watch our door stripping episode. Lots more doors to complete, including the front door behind me. So if you like today's content, make sure you like and subscribe. You know the deal. If you haven't already checked it out, be sure to pop over to the live stream and check out the camera that's attached to the house faces the port. You can come and watch the boats go all day long on a beautiful view of the ocean. Be sure to check it out. I get the pleasure of seeing it every day, and I'm happy to share it with everybody else. So enjoy. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for joining.